Modern pop culture paints the Illuminati as the ultimate puppet masters. They are rumored to be an all-powerful, shadowy elite controlling everything from global politics to the music industry. The true architect of this secret society had no vast wealth or demonic powers. Adam Weishaupt was simply a 28-year-old professor of canon law who gathered 5 men around a table in 1776 to start a club. This grand myth didn't start in a subterranean corporate bunker. It began right here, on the mundane, cobblestone streets of Ingolstadt, Bavaria. To understand how a local academic club birthed the world's greatest conspiracy theory, we have to strip away the modern paranoia. We have to examine the psychological paradox of a man who thought he could hack human nature. Raised by his godfather, young Weishaupt was given early and unfettered access to a massive library of forbidden, esoteric, and Enlightenment texts. From those books, he developed a radical vision for humanity. He imagined a universal republic, completely free from the tyrannical grip of monarchs and the church, operating on principles of absolute equality and social fraternity. But he ran into a glaring paradox. Weishaupt believed ordinary humans were far too superstitious and flawed to handle true liberty. Before they could be free, they had to be strictly managed and made good. His solution was a shadow structure. He proposed creating a benevolent, invisible dictatorship, an enlightened elite who would secretly maneuver the rest of humanity toward a perfect society. On May 1, 1776, Weishaupt formally inaugurated the Illuminati. He never intended to hoard global wealth or exploit the poor. He launched a deeply flawed experiment to force a utopia through authoritarian control. Despite his utter contempt for the Catholic Church, Weishaupt stole his entire operational structure directly from his former Jesuit instructors. He crowned himself the absolute, unquestioned Grand Master. He also adopted the concept of casuistry. This gave the order its guiding moral framework. The ends justify the means. Deception and self-serving manipulation were perfectly acceptable as long as they advanced the society's goals. Recruiting one at a time into a new secret society was far too slow to sway global politics. Instead, Weishaupt commanded his members to join Freemasonry. They infiltrated existing popular lodges, attaining leadership positions to covertly hijack them from the inside out. Weishaupt didn't build an empire. He engineered a cultural parasite designed to hollow out and control the influential organizations that already existed. This parasitic expansion targeted specific hosts. Weishaupt ignored the working classes entirely, focusing his recruitment on 18th century influencers, prominent lawyers, academics, aristocrats, and writers. These elites were lured in with the promise of ancient esoteric knowledge. Once inside, their old identities were stripped away and replaced with classical codenames like Spartacus or Pythagoras. But the cost of admission was total psychological surrender. Novices were forced to keep detailed daily diaries, logging their every thought and action, and they submitted intense written confessions to their superiors. They hid nothing from their direct supervisor, known as the insinuator. This superior monitored their loyalty while dictating exactly what the novice was allowed to read and how they were supposed to think. True initiation required abandoning standard morality. If commanded by the Grand Master, acts of perjury, treason, and even assassination were explicitly permitted for the good of the order. The contradiction is chilling. To achieve a society of absolute human freedom, Weishaupt forced his followers to submit to a totalitarian microcosm of total surveillance. Looking at this 1799 map of the Bavarian region, we can see the physical landscape of Weishaupt's ambitions. Through Masonic infiltration, his parasitic strategy worked quickly, exploding the Illuminati's ranks from those 5 initial men to over 2,000 members spanning across Europe. That rapid growth attracted intense state suspicion. The Bavarian government cracked down, issuing multiple edicts between 1784 and 1790 that officially banned the Illuminati and criminalized its membership. Facing severe legal consequences, Weishaupt fled into exile. Stripped of its leadership and operating grounds, the physical society fractured and vanished from public view. By every outward metric, the Bavarian Illuminati collapsed in barely a decade. It was a short-lived pipe dream that evaporated before achieving a single one of its utopian goals. However, that state suppression triggered an immense unintended consequence. By actively hunting them down, the government gave this deeply secretive group massive global publicity. Weishaupt had structured the group to be completely invisible, communicating only through false names and front organizations. Because of this, the public could never actually verify that the Illuminati had been destroyed. This permanent information vacuum created an empty vessel. Over the centuries, human paranoia naturally filled that space, mutating the defunct academic club into an omnipotent global boogeyman, responsible for major world events. Adam Weishaupt failed to conquer the physical world with his invisible dictatorship, but through his mastery of human manipulation, his creation conquered our imaginations permanently.